From the International Broadcast Tower on top of the Sky Palace, this is the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. It is the 2018 Spring Tournament. We are in the final week of the Swiss rounds, and we got a barn burner for you today. We have TristalMTG versus Falconic, two superstars in the community. And we are going to see a great matchup today. Hey everyone, I'm Cyclone, joined by Shadow Walker. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. We've got TristalMTG versus Falconic FF today, and both of these runners are absolutely fantastic runners. Both of them 3-1 right now, trying to work their way into the 4-1 category and not have to play in the play-in race. So one of these runners is going to be guaranteed in the bracket stage, and one of them is going to have to work their way in still. Today, Tristal running the typical fighter rainbow party, very solid party, very safe. Falconic has been running spicy parties the whole tournament long, and today he's going with a black belt, 2 black mages, and a white mage. Looking to mix things up, roll a spicy party, and hopefully catch Tristal with a trick or two up his sleeve.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the party difference works here today. 2 black mages on one party, one of them forced, so both players had to have one. I've seen a lot of parties going without a black mage in this tournament, so this will be an interesting change. Having the black mage forced, you have to have certain magic on your person at all times. And we have 4 different party members on Tristal, as you said. We have the white mage, we have the raid mage, all the magicians are there with a fighter. No thieves allowed, which I don't think the runners are going to be too upset about that, will they?
The thief is very nice for the extra run chance, especially in the early game. Falconic set up pretty well here with the 2 black mages, still going to have a good run chance. Tristal not going to be able to run quite as easily, but still a decent chance to run. I think Falconic's going to prioritize going for a very offensive strategy, and Tristal going for a little bit more of the safer strategy, but still has 2 black magic casters, so we'll see how this pans out.
Well, it looks like we have Quake, Lock, Dark, and Stop. A great magic arrangement in the black magic shop to start the game. Harm 3, Fear, A-Ice, A-Rub in the white magic.
Yeah, that Quake is going to see a lot of early game use, but not the greatest for a lot of the game. Chain Armor available in Corneria, so that's going to help out Tristal, but Falconic does not have the ability to equip that Chain Armor, so a little bit of an advantage right now to Tristal, but Falconic's going to make up that ground later.
I love having a cloth available in the first shop. There's that extra 1 defense that you can stick on your... Never mind.
Alright, Tristal taking the time to purchase a wooden staff, give that fighter just a little bit of attack power. Meanwhile, Falconic just going straight to Garland.
No questions asked here, and Falconic using one of the many mods available in the community. Looks like the wolves look a little different for him than we're used to seeing, but they are still wolves.
Yeah, Falconic is using the fun percent flag to shuffle the enemy palettes. So the enemies are going to have various colors from other enemies in the game. Meanwhile, his sprites are his own custom sprite hack. So a little bit different looking characters, but I assure you that is still in fact a black belt, a white mage, and 2 black mages.
And for some reason he reset out of that run there, so I'm not sure what happened there, but he didn't like it for some reason and reset out. He is now behind Tristal in the exploration of the left side, looking for the items over there. We just saw the copper bracelet over there. I didn't catch the other items, but we're going to see him go on Falconic's side.
Yeah, I think the reason that Tristal or Falconic reset is because he didn't land Quakes on all the wolves and wanted to make sure he still had enough Quake charges for Garland.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Speaking of which, Tristal gets a first turn Quake on Garland, and he is through the fight. He's going to talk to the Princess, and the King gives us a ribbon, and Princess gives us an herb.
It's interesting that Garland is obviously not very steady on his feet. As you would have thought those items would have been the other way around. You would have thought the Princess would have given you the ribbon.
Alright, so a ribbon and a copper bracelet going to give 5 absorb for that white mage, so a little bit of tank. A little bit of absorb for the white mage. Meanwhile, we're looking at the weapons. We do see an iron nunchuck, so he's going to pick that up for the black belt, so he has at least a little bit of attack power.
We did notice a cat claw in the one shop as well there in the weapon shop. Not necessarily a big weapon, but certainly a very expensive weapon that I doubt that we pick it up by that point.
Yeah, you can't equip the Cat Claw until your class changed, and while it does have a high crit rate, it's not a terribly great weapon as far as attack power goes. So I doubt we'll be seeing a lot of that.
We are going to see what's in Matoya's cave, however. We don't have the crystal yet, so we can't do that, obviously, but we can certainly pick up the items here and bookmark this later when we do have the crystal.
Yep, Falconic using a cabin just before heading up to Matoya, although he does find about 5,500 gold, so we'll probably keep that, as well as a giant sword he'll be able to sell. It doesn't have anybody to equip it.
There's a saber up there as well, which I think he can equip that.
Nope.
Oh, no, he
can't use any swords.
Black belt. That's right. Okay, black belt. I get used to those pallets.
Yeah, Falconic is taking a little bit of a gamble not taking the fighter along, but if this ends up being a difficult endgame, that definitely provides an advantage for him. So I think the story of this is going to be how difficult the game is, and if it is a difficult, tough final dungeon, then I think this favors Falconic, and otherwise Tristal might have the advantage.
So Falconic is now heading back to Corneria before heading to Provoca, and let's, I assume he is going to go to Provoca, so just stop and pick up a cabin and take along for maybe a few more because he does have some money now.
Yeah, you always want to make sure you have enough save items to be able to travel around pretty quickly and avoid those fights that you don't want to see. We'll see if Falconic goes east or west here.
There goes Tristal getting a very large encounter with wolves, imps of all sorts. Gets away from it, and he is in... Provoca is vanilla today. We have vanilla pirate fight coming up.
Yep, level 2 magic is going to be a great find for these runners. We see Cure 3 and Life 2. That is really big news for Tristal. He's going to be able to have Life 2 on the night after class change. Meanwhile, Falconic is only going to have one white magic caster.
Yeah, that Life 2 is going to be a great find, and Tristal's going to have a lot of ability to use that to revive his party in Temple of Fiends, so that will be a huge benefit for him, especially later in the race. Cure 3 is a nice level 2 spell as well for the white mage.
That's a lot of really good options for the white magic here. Curious to see what black magic is. We're getting a note from C-Note saying that Ice 3 was available in the level 2 black magic shop, so that's going to give us some really good clearing options for the early game.
See it right there on Falconic's side, too.
Alright, Ice 3 coming out for Tristal. Going to make quick work of these pirates. Falconic doing a quick save just in case something goes wrong in this fight.
Oh, that's already our floater.
Interesting. So as soon as we see a ship or canoe, which we're going to have to get very quickly here, we're going to get going pretty fast.
We need the canoe to get over there right now at this point. Either that or the ship, because you can go around, like you said, through the canal. But if they do find the canoe, they can just walk their way around. So we could have a forced situation where marsh is needed if that's where the canoe is. It'll be interesting to see where that shows up.
Yep, we could end up getting the ship or the canoe out of the herb turn-in, or we could have to go into Marsh Cave. But either way, we're going to be getting into the air very quickly. Maverick Kanisa joining us in chat says, did he miss anything? Well, so far we saw a ribbon and the herb from the king and the princess of Corneria in the castle, and we saw the floater from Vicky and his pirates here in Provoca, which is at Provoca today.
Yeah, no Provoca, always nice to see. So Falconic is now on his way out of the Provoca area. Nothing else to do over here. This is now basically a dead end now that they have their floater. So they head back to Corneria and they start planning for their trip to visit the dwarves. Hooray!
Yep, there's going to be a couple of chests that we'll be able to check here in the dwarf cave. So we'll see if there's anything decent there. Those chests are probably going to benefit Tristal more than Falconic.
Ogres with Blaze.
Not something you want to see. Tristal takes a wipe. And Falconic getting the same ambush.
Oh, that's going to make this journey a little interesting.
Yep, but that's why we buy cabins, to be able to save and get our way around the overworld a little bit faster. So Falconic, the first of the Dwarf Cave, finds an Ice Shield and another ribbon. So second ribbon already, very good.
Now the next challenge is to get out of there with the items and get back over to Alpha without too much trouble. Ogres are going to appear all the way over there. It's almost snakes.
So it looks like Tristal's got the White Mage up front with no equipment on her, and I think Tristal's going to damn that White Mage and go with a 3-man party here. He's going to have 2 people that can cast Life 2 after the class change, so I think this makes a lot of sense, and could potentially be a strong advantage. Falconic, almost over to Elfland now. Gonna be able to turn in that herb and see what we get.
Both runners lucky not finding any ogres along the way. We know they have Blaze now, so they would be very dangerous to run into if they do make an appearance. And that is Onrak.
And our vendor item is the crown. Interesting, so that's a very expensive crown too.
So the access to the palace is right next door, I guess you could say.
We will see if we can get a little bit of money. That is going to prioritize opening boxes a little bit more.
Boy,
we do have
did I call it or did I call it?
All right, so with that canoe, both our runners are going to be able to go get their airship right away. And we're going to get flying and not even see Marsh Cave off the early game.
And I'm sure any seed where the runners don't have to dip into Marsh Cave is a seed that runners really like.
I mean, it's pretty likely that we're going to come back for Marsh Cave before too long, but definitely not having to go there straight away feels pretty good.
And now that they have the floor, they can prioritize more interesting locations, I guess you can say, and also find out where all the towns are so they can do their planning as far as that goes, too. So this will give a lot of ability to do some planning you might not normally get to do at this point in the seed. As Falconic at about 10 minutes and 12 seconds is in the air and finds Melmond over in the Crescent Lake area.
Yep, I imagine we're going to see a quick Crescent Lake, Gaia, and Sarda check, and then we're going to get down to some incentive locations.
Yep, we're getting started right now. Oh, hey, go feed that troll up in the cave, will you, please?
I mean, we do need about 30k to go pick up that crown, so opening those extra 4 chests is definitely worthwhile.
I agree, that's exactly what he's doing, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, getting the ruby so close to the Titan, you might as well make these check chests while you're right here. It doesn't take a lot of time, it's 4 extra chests. There we go. About 9k.
And for a crunch, it's about $11,000 by my math.
Yep, that's going to do a good bit of work getting us towards that crown money. So I imagine Falconic's probably going to go up to the Cardia Isles, check the chest there, and then maybe do a waterfall and Onrak check.
I'm certainly approving of the Cardia Islands check. That's usually a very good area to go to check for items. We are going to see what's at Melmond first. It is Elfland. So here's our level 3 magic. Let's inventory here. Ice, Lit 3, Slow, Zap.
Well, Lit 3 is going to go really well with that Ice 3 that we've got, so we now have 2 different elemental magics available to us.
And in the white, we have Harm 2, Heal, A-Lit, and Fog 2. Not a fan of much of that, but Harm 2 he is going to use.
Yeah, I'll pick up Fog 2, he'll pick up Harm 2. Provides at least a little bit of utility for that white mage.
And armor choices aren't very feasible. I missed the
more
white
armor that Falconic can't use. Bane and Fire 3.
Black Magic has Bane. Yeah, Black Magic has Bane and Fire 3. Let's get a look at the white magic I missed on Tristal's side. Lamp, Harm, A-Mute, and Mute. Well, that's a nice...
None of those are exciting to see, but Fire 3, so now we have the full elemental gamut between level 2 through 4, so very nice to find.
Now, the only spell there that is the most discouraging to see for Zelda fans is Lamp, because that means Aghanim was on the table.
Alright, Tristal finding some really big money up here in Cardiography. Both of the runners going to do the Cardial checks.
And we're finding some more crown money up there. Didn't see what his last financial amount was, but that's a good 21,000 right there. And the crown, I think, was somewhere under 30,000, was it not?
Yeah, it was 29,000 plus change. Pro Cave's really nice for the mages to be able to equip, as well as some ice armor for Tristal's fighter.
Yep, Pro Cave is nice, so is that ice armor.
So Tristal finding some gear that he's going to be pretty happy with, and Falconic going to be able to sell that to hopefully get the crown a little bit faster for him.
I think they're going to find enough money here to get that crown anyway, or at least pretty close to it.
Ooh, and a Thor Hammer's a great pickup. Going to give the fighter, or in Falconic's case, the black belt, something to throw out for AoE.
Yeah, I just got a quick look at the money for Falconic. I think it said 25,000, so he's a little bit short of crown territory. He'll probably be able to sell one of those really good armor or weapons in order to finance the rest of that crown.
Well, Falconic doesn't actually have anybody that can equip any of that fighter gear, so he can actually sell the ice armor, the ice shield, and the opal shield and make up that cash.
Exactly.
He finds Crescent Lake at Gaia.
So that means we're going to go see what the Circle of Sages the lake has today. So we'll get to them in a second as we see more ice. He's selling his ice armor, ice, other items. He keeps the opal shield for now. So yeah, check the magic. Level 6 has Pure, Ruse, Exfer, and Harm 4. Ugh. And Black Magic has Rub, Stun, Bind, and Lit 2. Yeah. So over to our Circle of Sages, who apparently have been drinking today.
So unfortunately, the big things we haven't seen, we have not seen Warp or Exit. So it's going to slow down exploration just a little bit without having those on the table, as that crown turn-in does lead to the Rod from Aztec.
And meanwhile, Falconic found the TNT over from the not-so-Circle of Sages. Being noted in chat, confused old men with high explosives. This is fine.
I don't see anything wrong with this. It's like finding the TNT in a fire guarded chest. There's nothing wrong there. Ooh, Warp and Fast at level 7 in on-rack.
Fast is not a good
not
item to
favorable.
see there.
And Invis 2 at 7, so very high levels for Fast and Warp and Invis 2. That's not very happy.
It'll be somewhat okay for Tristal. At least he can use it in the later fights to try to hold out against the last bosses. But he's not getting a lot of charges out. He has to plan his use of it carefully if he decides to use it. As we get another crunch, crunch, crunch.
Yeah, Falconic's probably only going to need 2 or 3 charges of Fast for Chaos, Tiamat 2, and Kraken 2. Given that he will have a high-level black belt at the end of the game and be able to punch the Fiends for a lot of damage. So Falconic able to route in this TNT turn-in while he is already here in the area, since he checked the Gaia down first.
We're gonna have lazy dwarves today? Yes, we have lazy dwarves today.
That's always something you like to see.
Oh, good! I need this! Can you take this to my buddy? Hey, thanks! Thanks, man! And that's gonna give us our ability to learn a new language in 2 seconds.
Yep, so we know where Melmond is. It was at Crescent Lake. And we know Lefane's got to be either at the vanilla entrance or at the Onrak town.
Falconic just habitually checking the Melmond location, then remembers, oh yeah, it was down at Crescent Lake. So he's heading down that direction now.
Will Cleos is correctly pointing out in chat, key items is what Falconic is trying to prioritize. Once he gets those 12 key items, he's going to make a break for the volcano and try and take out Agamas as fast as possible to get a high-level black belt under his on his party, so that way he can just start obliterating all the fiends with punching. Full gamut of silver bracelets for his mages. Very nice for Falconic.
And,
Slab.
yep, Falconic's going to be trying to get to Lefane now. Now, I don't think we've seen Lefane yet, have we?
We haven't. We know it's got to be... Oh, there's Exit. It's at level 5, so that's not too bad. We know Lefane's got to be either at Lefane or at
Nuke is at level 5.
Nuke and Brack. Very, very nice.
XXXX as well. And Tristal's getting his dwarf check-in.
Alright, so a lot of quick turn-ins for our runners. It's time to start seeing where our runners diverge and start going to their incentive location checks. Shortly we'll be seeing that. Falconic level 7 on his party. I think Crystal's around 5 or 6.
Just got a quick look at the menu there. We're going to confirm he's around level 7 himself. Falconic.
Okay, so pretty even levels for our runners.
So Tristal is now heading over to Crescent Lake himself. Now, of course, Wellman to get his slab turn in. Now, it is possible for enemies to show up on those desert tiles. I don't think I've seen any show up there today, though.
Correct. Neither of our runners have seen any fights while they're running around Melman, but the Zozo Melman flag, as it's called, is enabled. So we could see any number of undead, or pirates, or even a vampire.
Or a couple of geists, like right now. With sleep. That's encouraging.
Sleep's a little bit of a nuisance, but fortunately Tristal and Falconic both have 2 ribbons, so it's not going to take them long to get through this fight. Falconic finds Gaia at Lefane, so we know now that Lefane is at Unrack, and we'll have to come back here with the bottle eventually.
And Falconic is not wasting time, he's going straight to Unrack.
Yep, he wants to get that key item turn in from the Lefanish people, as well as do the key item check here at the waterfall. So it's very nice to be able to route these both out at the same time.
He's going to get that. I wonder if he's going to... He may already have a good idea what the magic is in the shop here, but I wonder if he's going to check that anyway. Yep, he's heading right there after he gets his bottle. So the bottle is now... Nope, he's leaving, not checking the magic.
Well, speaking of bottle, it turns out the Lefanish people have the bottle. And Falconic is not going to do the waterfall. He's going to put that off.
I think he's too weak to do the waterfall. Maybe he's thinking he wants to be a few levels higher for that.
I disagree. He's level 7. He's got 2 black mages. Ice 3, Fire 3 are going to make quick work of a lot of the fights.
Maybe.
About the only thing you don't want to see are probably the mud goals. But other than that, I think his party is totally safe to do waterfall here.
Maybe he's just prioritizing the item over here from here before he does that. That could be the other reason for that. So he's going to go to Gaia right now and see what's over here. There's another magic shop check. Confused, and I think that was sleep too. And
okay,
over here,
Lucius is pointing out. Lucius is pointing out that he thinks Falconic is at 11 key items, and therefore doing this quick item turn in is going to get him to 12.
Cure 4 and life on the white magic for level. I think that was level 7 or 8.
Yeah, that was level 7. So Cure 4, not a place you want to see it. Life, not too big a deal. We did see level 2 life too, so that's not as bad.
Life 2 is better than life anyway, so I'll take it. So what is going to be at the Oxio location today? We have to find out.
Chat pointing out that Tristal found the Vorpal sword in the Volcano Armory, and we get the required loot from the ferry.
What was that doing with the ferry underwater?
I mean, somebody threw it away in the lake. Oh, Tristal also found in the Power Gauntlet in Volcano. So, very nice finds for the endgame equipment for Tristal. Feeds are unrunnable, but that's not a fight that you hate taking.
Yeah, if you're going to be forced to take a fight, that's a fight you're okay with. That gives you some good experience. Kind of saves us from having to do the aggro grind if we know we're going to run into these guys too.
Alright, so Falconic back in his airship. We're going to see where he goes now. I have a feeling it's going to be straight to Volcano.
Either that or Ice Cave, but you're right, Volcano.
No, he wants to do his black belt grind. He wants to get this out of the way now.
Exactly.
And just scream through the rest of the game. So Falconic at the 23:30 mark, making a play to get his black belt to really high levels. So he's going to do these chest checks. He's going to find the power bonk. He's going to find the Vorpal. Of course, he doesn't have anybody to equip the Vorpal, but it'll make him smile to see it.
It'll make him smile to go to the shop and sell it later. Or to drop it in Chaos for you. We don't know what he plans to do yet.
Falconic will hang on to it. He loves the Vorpal sword. He won't get rid of it.
And there's one of the giants. That is a regular giant, not a Frosty, just to clarify that because of the palette. And a bunch of iguanas with it. And somebody has poison there. That was an iguana that has poison touch.
Yeah, that's not too big of a deal. Just so we're going to do some stocking up in shops, and then he's going to do probably an incentive sweep, starting to go through Marsh Cave, Ice Cave, Waterfall, etc. Volcanic is going to take a bit of time here, and we're going to do Volcano all at once. And we'll see.
Of all the key, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
We'll see how these paths diverge, and whether the time gamble that Falconic's spending on the black belt grind pays off or not.
That worm looked a little under the weather there, so he gets away from it, thankfully. And he cleans out the armory, which, there's his Vorpal. And there's some purple peats.
That's a good color on these peats. I like it. Alright, Tristal heading north. He is going to go do ordeals.
Now, with all the key items that we picked up, it's something that we should remember too. There are still 2 key items in random chests located throughout the world. So those could be anywhere in the world as long as they're logically accessible for what they're needed for. They can be anywhere in the world outside of Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yep, we have seen the ribbon and the ruby already, but right. The other loose items could be tail and what's the other one?
Cube?
I was thinking there was another key item that might not be required. Oh, the tail on the ship. If the loose items are the tail on the ship, or items that lead to those, they might not be required. But otherwise, we will need to be checking those loose chests to find the items that we're after.
And Tristal is going through Teleporter Maze right now in Castle of Ordeal. And there's some Medusas. And we're not going to get to see what the Medusas do today because they were wiped out with 1 Fire 3. Oh, this could be an important encounter if we can see what the mummies do. Nope.
Alright, Falconic just wrapping up the last of these Volcano 2 checks. Tristal cleaning up these mummy packs. Making his way through the Pillar Maze. Makes very quick work of the Pillar Maze and is already on to Ordeals 2.
Yep, he's busy with having a nightmare right now, and, well, the nightmare was vanquished. Some kind of illegal maneuver audio there. As Tristal moves to the wooden staff from the first chest. 3 chests over here have money, Aegis Shield, and a potion. And
so far, no loose items. Definitely some nice gear for that night, though.
While we know this is an incentive item, there's your crystal for Matoya. So Matoya is now on our table again.
Alright, Falconic has saved his spoils from the armory and going to go straight to the last floor. And he's going to look to make quick work of these Agamas.
And And yep, he is heading down the 4th floor. So this is most likely a Fiend run as well if he's going down this deep. I'd be interested to see if he... I'll be interested to see how that fight goes.
So the adversary in chat asking how many people are going to make the bracket stages. So Crab Cakes is 5-0 and automatically earns a bye in round 1. And One Fine Day is right now 4-0. If he wins his match tomorrow, he will also earn a bye. Otherwise, there will be a total of 14 players between all of the 4-1s and the top X slots of the play-in race that will make up the other 14 runners that will compete with Crab Cakes.
And since you mentioned that, since you mentioned One Fine Day, it's worth pointing out that that race with One Fine Day and our co-commentator tonight, Shadow Walker, is tomorrow at noon. So make sure you check that out tomorrow as well if you want to see that matchup. That should be a good matchup tomorrow.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. Tristal gonna do the crystal turn in, and he finds the Mystic Key, so Ordeals is required tonight.
So Tristal is now heading down after the trip to Matoya. To the Witch, that's right. Heading down to Corneria Castle and is going to check out what's inside those chests right now. $2 gold for Falconic. Wow, the Zeus Gauntlet's a much better item.
Oh, and in the Corneria Treasury, the Mazmoon has been located, blocked by the Mystic Key.
The treasury yields good things. 4 gold.
So Falconic did find a Zeus Gauntlet down here, so he's got a couple of castable items. I'm not sure whether or not he's going to be able to take out these Agmas. I think it's really going to depend on their HP, whether or not he can do a solo grind here.
Let's see what he tries. He tries Lightning 3, 56 damage for 1 attack by the Agama. And these spells, well, he terminated it in 1 go, but that's...
Okay, so
we'll see if he decides to grind or not.
So they have at most 230 hit points. That's not terrible. So he'll probably do a grind, keeping the other characters alive for a little bit until he can do enough damage to really punch that Agama down. Once he's level 14 to 15, maybe he might be able to start thinking about doing it with just the Black Belt.
We found Ice Sword and a Flame Shield in the Dwarven Smithery. We don't have much else to discuss from those 8 chests, though. In fact, he drops that Iron Gauntlet that he picked up there, because that's a useless gauntlet.
Just trying to make space for other good items that he finds. And it looks like Falconic not feeling the Agama grind just yet. So he's going to keep on the lookout for other weak enemies that give high experience points, as well as the potential Mazmoon find.
Well, we're down to the carry floor, so he is going to... looks like he is going to make an attempt at the our friend, the wonderful Red Dragon over here. Well, after dealing with an Agama first. This one chest, trap galore. Ooh, Brack!
Like he has Brack, so this is not the grind that Falconic's looking for.
Not at all. The Dwarven Treasury does not yield much.
Yep, so far the Mystic Key is given the Mazmoon, but not a whole lot else.
That is worth knowing that Mystic Key is still required. There actually is a Dorian Temple Fees Revisited that is locked by that Mystic Key that you have to get through that part of the temple. So, key is still required whether there's items behind it or not.
Alright, so Tristal finds his way back to the volcano. He's now going to try and clear this. Falconic taking an Agma fight on his way to carry.
So he's going to pick up all the items that Falconic has picked up already here, because he's still looking for those loose items. I don't think we've seen any of the loose items yet. I think we still have both at large, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yep, both loose items still are on the table.
So here's our first carry fight. Falconic is the first to take on a Fiend this evening. Ice 3 starting out, doesn't do a lot of damage. Ink is utilized by carry, and Darkness is on the black belt, but nothing else of note here. More Ice 3, Fog 2 is helping with the armor.
Yeah, Falconic is trying to use the Power Bong to be able to augment his offensive capabilities. Right now he doesn't have a whole lot in the way that's going to be able to take this out. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that black belt took one for the team. That's not a lot of magic damage. This could be very, very dicey. Let's hope he can pull this out here. Normally in the vanilla game, I think Carry has 600 damage, or 600 hit points. Vanilla, obviously that changes in the randomizer, but we'll see how he handles this fight.
Right, she could have anywhere from about 300-ish upwards of about 1,300, I believe, if she absolutely max rolled. So, a bit unfortunate that critical came out on the black belt. Trying to work his way through the HP that Carry has. Unfortunately, Carry resists elemental magic, so this is not doing a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, all the magic is not doing a lot. That's not something you like to see.
This Fog 2 is really making a difference. Only 2 hits for 15 damage on the white mage.
We'll take that.
With no other options on the table, he's switching over to Quake strats.
Terminated.
Very low odds of working, but Thor Hammer gets the job done. Level 13 now for Falconic's mages.
Yeah, that was dicey. That's going to be I imagine that's going to be a tough fight for Tristal, but he does have the fighter, so the fighter might make that a little easier. We'll see what kind of power the fighter brings to that fight.
Yeah, the fighter's going to have a lot more absorb, as well as the Mazmoon to be able to swing, so that fight's going to look a lot different for Tristal. Alright, Falconic doesn't know it, but what he really wants to do in order to make this black belt grind work is go up to Ordeals and then turn in that crystal for the Mystic Key. So we will see how long it takes him to put those pieces together. He's got a lot of incentive places to check right now.
In theory, he can check the waterfall as well. Neither runner has done that yet. That could be a play of some form as well.
Yep, Marsh Cave, Waterfall, and Ordeals all on the table still for incentive locations. Tristal has done Ordeals, but neither of the other two. Oh, as well as Ice Cave is on the table too.
Yeah, Ice Cave hasn't been checked by either runner yet. And I don't think Falconic's heading there yet.
Nope, looks like Falconic's making the play for Ordeals.
It looks like it, yeah. This is exactly where he's stopping.
So if he finds the crystal and turns it in, he could get his Mazmoon very quickly. And that will really make his black belt play work out here. So, Falconic already having done Volcano, he probably won't go back for an Agama grind, but he could choose to do an Eye grind in Ice Cave, assuming that the Eyes don't have any particularly nasty skills or spell.
Falconic does talk to the lovely mage at the front door, and he gets a little lonely once in a while. So he's going through Teleporter Maze right now. And Tristal's about to enter his carry fight, so Fiend fight number 1, engage. And a normal looking carry for Tristal compared to what Falconic just had to fight. 3 hits for 71 damage on the Knight. Knight comes, or I should say the fighter comes back for 102, Nuke for 172, and Quake doesn't do anything. But that's already a much different start to the fight. Nuke for 172, really good start for Tristal there. And 240 from the fighter terminates the Fiend very, very fast.
Yeah, Tristal with the Nuke and the Mazmoon able to make very quick work of carry here. Falconic makes quick work of the Pillar Maze. He's on to the Nightmare fight. Which looks very colorful today. Gets a max roll Ice 3 for 420 damage.
Very nice.
Very nice damage.
If I just clicked all the items we've already seen here, I think we are now in the ice cave with Crystal. So we're going to see what kind of nastiness this cave cooks up for us. A lot of encounters so far, and there's the R Bones who have Dazzle and Mute. And no one able to speak there now.
He's eating up a little bit of time, but Tristal does manage to run away from the fight. Falconic punching his way through the Zombie D now. It's through fairly quickly.
Now, I don't think Tristal has Warp, does he? Or did he pick it up?
Warp is level 7, so I don't think either runner has it.
That's right.
And even if they did, it takes to level 21 to get some Warp charges, so...
It does, yeah.
Not on the table.
So they're going to have to take the long way around to find out what's in the eye chest today. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing.
Alright, so Falconic is, looks like going to go turn in his Crystal. So he's going to see the Mystic Key, and if he does those checks, he's going to be very happy with what he finds.
He might wish he had earlier, too.
I mean, sure, but you can never know that ahead of time, and Volcano has a lot of chests. If he had found them as Moon in Volcano, that would have been very, very favorable for him.
And as you said, it very well could have been in the Volcano just as much as it is here in the Armory. And he's actually going straight to that Armory. Very first place he's checking with the key. Very good move.
Yep, so he finds Mazmoon. He's going to be very happy now. And I imagine he's going to go straight to the Ice Cave to do a eye grind now.
Crystal taking up the Frosty with some fire, which seems logical to me.
Yeah, so Tristal still making sure to be very thorough on all these chest checks. We still have not seen either of the loose items. That's definitely something we're still on the lookout for.
Mages with Poison Touch, that's not encouraging. There's our ship, that's one of our loose items.
Well, nice to see the loose item. Unfortunately, not something that's required.
Oh, Bane Sword. He's going to make sure I pick that up.
Yep, Bane Sword's seen quite a bit of use in this tournament. A couple of kills on Chaos, even.
Yeah. And even though it wasn't the sword, you can't forget our own Wokliosis using it on Chaos as a spell.
And the Opal Bracelet is a great find here in these Frostwolf Trap Tiles.
So we're going to be coming down to the first floor again, or up rather to the first floor. A few chests before we get to the eye chest. And I think Tristal picked up exit. Is he able to use exit at this point?
I don't think Tristal has exit. Exit was level 5.
Yeah, it is level 5.
I think it was blocked the White Mage or Red Wizard. So Falconic has exit right now, but Tristal does not.
That could be a little bit of an advantage for Falconic when he gets here. Get the item and get out right away.
So Falconic looks like he's going to route in the rest of these Mystic Key checks. And we'll see where he goes from there. I imagine he's going to go over to the Ice Cave and do a quick eye grind.
The chime! Mirage Tower is now open.
Alright, so definitely another required dungeon. We're still on the lookout for the Oxyale and the Cube in order to get through this game.
And now the possibility exists they could be on the third floor of Sky Palace, so who knows?
Yep, definitely a lot of places that we still could see the loose item. And depending upon what it is, will tell us where we could see it.
Tristal is now flying over the open sea and is emerging in the desert. Well, not the desert I had in mind, but he's going to the on-rack location now, it looks like.
Yep, he's going to see Lefane here and be able to turn in his translated slab, as well as do the waterfall check. So he's going to get his bottle, and we have not seen what the robot gives in the waterfall yet.
No, neither runner has been in the waterfall yet.
Oh, Falconic actually not going to go do an eye grind. He's going to go back into the volcano and do an agama grind still. I think this makes a lot of sense. He knows that the Agamas don't have any skills or spells, so they're not nasty. And with the ability to force the Agamas on the 2 step-off tiles, it's going to be a very quick grind for him. And he's not going to have the chance to run into a random fight like he would doing an eye grind.
Also, no, he doesn't know what the eyes have yet because he hasn't been at Ice Cave, so you don't know. You could have a bunch of eyes that do nothing, and then all of a sudden one throws out a nuke, and you're like,
Alright, so Falconic not worrying about healing as he dives down here. He does want to get down to just a solo black belt.
well, the wizard ogres are looking like normal ogres today.
A little bit. It's not quite the normal ogre sprite.
Not quite.
It's very similar.
And time for the grind to begin. Once he kills everybody.
Yep, so you see Falconic de-equipping all this armor. He wants all of his characters to die off. He wants to get down to just a black belt.
Oxgale.
The Oxgale from the waterfall. So if we see the cube in the March Cave, our other loose item will then be the tail and will not be required.
While it would not be required by logic, I'm sure that's not even the runners would still prefer to have to be able to do their class change, but as you said, they can't do the game without doing their upgrade if they need to.
Well, Tristal with his party definitely wants the tail. The Knight's going to be able to learn Life 2, the Knight's going to be able to equip much better gear, higher level spell charges for the White Mage and the Black Mage, so definitely some big advantage for Tristal finding the tail. Falconic's party does not care about getting the tail, actually.
Yeah, Falconic has now entered man mode and is going to just bully these Agama for all their work.
Yeah, about the only thing that Falconic might want that tail for is fast on the Black Wizards, but not very, not a whole lot else that he's going to get out of it. So I would say that if he does not see the tail, he will probably just still enter go mode. He's already got the power gauntlet, he's got 2 ribbons. Maybe you'd want a defense sword or a white shirt, but I think other than that, he's pretty comfortable with his gear. Fast is level 7 in on-rack, which means we would need the tail to get it. So I would expect that Falconic will probably do a level 42 grind here. All the chat asking whether he's going to do a 32 or 42 grind.
Tristal leaves the Gaia location with his loot, and he's heading back to the airship.
Yep, Tristal now has his loot. He's turned in all of his incentive items. So the only thing he has left on the table as far as incentive locations is March Cave. So I expect that's where we'll see him go next.
He does have a black shirt. I didn't notice the runners picking up the black shirt earlier, but that is in inventory for item use during battle as well.
Yeah, Tristal must have picked that up in the waterfall, I suppose.
Probably,
the
yeah.
only place that we've seen him check. Oh, he could have gotten it in Ice Cave.
Bottom of Ice Cave. Yeah, we missed it in Ice Cave.
Alright, Falconic already in one-shot range with these Agamas, so making very quick work of this grind. Already level 24 now. So making very quick work of this.
$3700 XP a pop here. 3783 to be exact.
Tristal entering into March Cave, already on the bottom path. He's going straight for the bottom chests rather than checking the top chests. He knows that if he finds the cube, he's in go mode. I will be curious to see if he decides to try and dig for the tail if he sees that this is the cube, or if he just enters go mode and says, if I find it on the way, great, and if not, oh well.
By going down here first, I'm going to assume he probably will not, and that's just a guess on my part. My feeling is that he's going to see if the cube is in that chest, which I think is the room right below him there, and if it's the cube, he might be out of here. He might be just going for it at that point. We'll see what he decides to do.
Well, I think the other thing to consider, especially having the Mystic Key, there's a lot more chests to check on the bottom side.
Forget that, the tail's here. He has to
tail
for the cube.
So the other loose item is required.
Ooh, Wizards with Glare.
Glare's an annoying spell. Fortunately, we do have 2 ribbons already. But Glare is actually Time Elemental, which makes it a bit pesky to try and resist.
And while Tristal finds another couple wizards, Falconic's man mode continues.
Level 29 now, very close to level 42, or 32. And it won't take him much longer to get to 42 than it does 32. The interesting thing about Final Fantasy is that once you hit level 32, it's basically the same EXP per level until you hit up to level 50. So once you hit 32, all the level ups take the same amount of time. Welcome, as we're getting viewers now joining from the previous race. That was... Oh, Lord Fizzlebeef with the rating party of 12. Thank you very much, Lord Fizzlebeef. Update on the race. So, seems like a good time to do a little bit of a recap. We have notes. Alright, we do not have notes, so I'm going to have to try and do this from memory. So, we started off, and we got the ribbon and the herb from the king and princess. Then we found Provoca at Provoca, and Vicky gave the floater. We turned in that herb and got the canoe, and we saw the crown was the vendor item in the Elfland entrance town. which was
The rod.
Elf one. Well, the crown did lead to Rod, yes. Where did we get... Oh, yeah, we had the canoe and the floater, so we were able to get the airship very quickly. It was about the 11:30 minute mark. We went to Sarda, who had the ruby. Castle Ordeals had the crystal, which turned in for the Mystic Key. We found the Mazmoon. Oh,
we found the cube.
The cube is loose in Marsh. Okay. So we got the Mystic Key from Matoya after turning in the crystal. We checked the Corneria Castle, and we found the Mazmoon. We found a loose ship in Ice Cave, a loose cube in Marsh Cave, as well as the tail as the Marsh incentive item. Waterfall was the Oxiale. And the slab turned into the Leftinish people gave us the bottle, which turned in for the loot. And I think that's everything.
That's most of it. The adamant came from the dwarf in Marsh Cave, and I forget what the adamant turned into. I think it was the
adamant turned into the slab. Adamant turned into the slab. We got the adamant from turning in TNT. TNT came from the sages. That's what I was forgetting.
Yes. And something we should point out about a minute ago, 53 minutes and 45 seconds, that with the finding of the cube, TristalMTG is now effectively in go mode.
Okay, so Falconic has decided to cut the grind off at level 32. And we know Tristal's in go mode, so he's going to be able to just speed through the rest of these dungeons. Falconic still needs to go do Marsh, and he needs to go do Waterfall and Ice Cave in order to hit go.
Falconic considering his armor situation now that I think he's waking everyone up again.
Well, he's bringing back one black mage and the white mage. It looks like he's going to go for a 3-man strat. I think he wants to get level 7 spells, so he's trying to prioritize a 3-man strat in order to get extra spell charges to get level 7 magic.
I can see that being a thing.
Asher asking what Tristal's looking for here. He's looking for fiend kills. That's the only thing left. He's checking a couple of chests along the way, just in case he sees the ribbon or the defense sword or the white shirt. But other than that, he just wants fiend kill.
Or 2 gold. The Falconic at this point is, I think it's safe to say, reasonably behind because of the, even though it was necessary for him, for his strategy, as Tristal gets blocked by a bat. Get out of the way, bat. Move it! Get out of the way! Move!
I mean, Falconic is definitely behind on progression, but it's a calculated gamble. He's going to be able to make progress a little bit faster through these dungeons and through the Fiend dungeons. So we know that Falconic is behind now. It's just a matter of how much can the difference of having a level 32 black belt make as far as catching back up.
Exactly. That's where we're going to see what where the strategy ends up working today. Tristal went into go mode as Falconic was finishing that grind. Falconic still has places like Ice Cave to check, but at least there shouldn't be too much trouble getting through here. I don't know if you noticed, but Tristal just ran over a speed bump over there.
I'm told there's a vampire on that floor. I've never seen it. Alright, so Falconic making his way through the ice cave has gotten now to the central room. Crystal blazing his path through the earth cave, down to Lich's floor now.
And Falconic going through the forced mage fight here. Going to knock them out. 654 for... Wow.
Yeah, between the Black Belt and Mazmoon on the White Mage, he's going to be able to start punching things for a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And those mages are worth some good EXP, so definitely worthwhile taking that.
And Tristal is on Fiend Fight number 2, or as we like to call it, the other speed bump. 116 damage, and the Knight comes out swinging for 293. That's about... They're past vanilla damage now. That's about 500 damage I think I've counted so far. So Lich did roll high. Nuke, 246. He's still standing, but 93, and that takes him out.
Lich actually rolling very high on hit points, about 200% of his normal hit point value.
It was. He's normally 400. Not very often you get to say the Lich fight was harder than the carry fight.
Tristal now going to Melman, picking up his level 5 magic. He's going to be able to pick up Nuke and Exit. Or not Exit. I suppose at this point he doesn't really need Exit.
No.
Oh, I didn't see what landed the hit, but something took out Falconic's White Mage. Down to just the Black Belt and the Black Mage. Not going to be a big deal for Falconic, as that level 32 Black Belt is not really going to care about a whole lot of things.
He gets his ship.
Yep, so that's loose item 1 out of the way for Falconic. Going to be pretty happy about that. Moving the Mazmoon over to the living character, but didn't actually equip it.
I wonder if that might just be an oversight.
Aligabrap asking, is Tristal in Go mode? Yes. Tristal has every key item in the game, and he is in Go mode. He just needs to kill the fiends and make his way through.
We've already got our tracker set up on the dive into the Sea Shrine, so on the ball with that one today as he heads right down. Goes left because he doesn't need to see any mermaids today.
Yeah, at this point there's very few items that Tristal would care about in checking chests. Does not want to go spend a bunch of time digging. So Falconic makes his way through Ice Cave. He's going to find his chime here.
And no exit, so he's continuing out.
Yep, unfortunately the White Mage going down means he doesn't just get to exit out of this dungeon. Would have been able to save himself a little bit of time, but not going to take him a whole long time to go through. So Falconic still needs to go to Marsh Cave, and he still needs to go to Waterfall. If he ends up going to Marsh Cave before diving into Fiend Dungeons, which he should, given that he knows an incentive item is there, if he checks the top side, then he will also find his cube there, and know that he can stop checking chests.
I have a feeling he might do the same thing that Tristal did. He might do the bottom side before doing the top side. So we'll see if he muscle memory sends him to the top first, or if he just goes straight to that incentive location.
Most likely Falconic will check the top side first. He's going to do a quick stop by town to pick that White Mage back up. But when he does do Marsh, he will almost assuredly do the bottom side first. Especially in his case, only needing the cube out of the Marsh Cave. He won't necessarily feel like he needs to go find that tail. In fact, I expect even if he does get the tail, he will probably not do the class change in order to be able to save a little bit of time. Welcome in chat, Corey is bored. If you find that Final Fantasy 1 is not to your taste, I would recommend checking out Final Fantasy Randomizer. It is everything that is good about Final Fantasy 1, plus the ability to actually go fast. Final Fantasy 1 is a rather slow game in the vanilla state, but with the speed hacks that we've got, it is a whole lot faster and a whole lot more fun.
No, I can relate to that. Having when I was back when it came out in long time ago, when it was still fairly new, I did manage to find time to play that game, and it is a long game to play. I will agree with that in its vanilla state. So having the different items available much faster does speed things up, does make it a much faster game, as you said. So that's why the randomizer is picked up compared, I think, more to than the regular game.
We got Mud Goals on Falconic's screen masquerading as Iron Goals. So it's funny when something like that happens in the palette shuffle.
Are we going to get to see Out of Bounds Bat? I didn't notice it on Tristal's side, but notice the Out of Bounds Bat is something you only get to see the one time in this cave. It's like seeing a shiny Pokemon. You see it once and you remember it. So we're going to see if it shows up here today. No Out of Bounds Bat today.
Corey's board asking what all you can randomize with Final Fantasy 1. A lot. The enemy skills, as well as spells, and which enemies have skills and spells, what treasures are in what chests, which treasure chests you're going to find that have important items, enemy stats, all kinds of things you can randomize in Final Fantasy 1. Definitely check out the Randomizer website, www.finalfantasyrandomizer.com, if you're interested in knowing more. And stop by the Discord as well.
And while we were talking about the randomizer, while we were talking about Out of Bounds Bat, Tristal took out a Kraken. We didn't even notice.
Yeah, Tristal's gear is very strong with the Mazmoon, with spells. He's got nukes aplenty. It does not take long to get through the Fiend fights.
Yeah, that very, very quick Fiend fight, and very, very good levels for these fights now, so not taking any time at all. They're almost all speed bumps at this point.
Yep, so Falconic going to go do Marsh Cave now. He's going to find his incentive item, and then realize that he still needs to look for the loose item. And, he's going to go north first. Interesting. So he can actually the cube and be able to skip the bottom side of Marsh. So this is going to help Falconic make up just a little bit of time. He's going to find his cube and then immediately be in go mode. And he is not going to bother with the bottom side of Marsh.
In fact, he's not bothering with the rest of the chests up here either. He's done.
Yep, Falconic understands the level of skill that his opponent has. He knows that he's going to need all the time he can get against Tristal. And he is not going to waste any time. He's going to go straight into the Fiend dungeons and probably not even touch another chest. He's probably going to go just straight after the Fiends and punch them all down.
I think so, you're right. $8.49 taking out a troll. Nothing can stand in his way. Except a bunch of gargoyles. One is running away. That's actually comical.
Yeah, with a level 32 black belt leading the charge, Falconic is definitely going to get a lot of enemies running away from him. That's the other kind of hidden advantage of having a high-level character at the front of your party, is enemies running away saves a lot of time in combat.
Notice there that all except one of the wolves actually ran away. It's like it just wasted time running all of them away. That was funny. This is going to be very light work for Falconic getting through these random encounters now.
Alright, so Falconic's still opening just a couple of chests. And Tristal actually opening a couple of chests, still on the lookout for the defense or the white shirt. So LCB in chat asking, can Falconic make up time having a black belt? Falconic is definitely going to get through these Fiend dungeons faster than Tristal did, but it is a question of whether the time spent grinding will be offset by having the high-level black belt. And that depends entirely on the difficulty of the Topher bosses. If we see a rough Topher with difficult bosses or Gurmaduces of Death like we've seen in the past, this definitely favors Falconic. If Topher is a pushover, and Tristal can just breeze through with his 3-man party, this favors Tristal in this match, so this really depends on what we haven't seen yet.
And Tristal, by the way, is in the Sky Palace, so he is on the 3rd floor opening some chests up here still. Dragon Armor, he's going to take that. Yes, please. And there's some money, a Pure Potion, and a shield he doesn't need. So that's going to stay right there as he continues upstairs. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a very important task coming up. We need to see a robot chicken to see what kind of problem that might pose for Tristal. Slow him down a little bit so Falconic can catch up. So let's see those blessed RNGs in the chat. I see them already. So let's see if we can get a robot chicken on our side today to appear.
Also, shout-outs to Zardia's Warmech emote. There's an absolutely beautiful emote. Love seeing that in chat with the blessed RNG.
That is nice, yeah. I wasn't expecting that. So, Falconic is now going to take on Lich, and I think we're just going to throw a Falcon Punch and that'll take care of it.
Yeah, Falconic is just going to absolutely run over these fiends. Going to be able to one-round most of them, if not all of them.
Oh, Zara is claiming he made a deal with Warmech. Let's see that deal come to fruition as some slimes show up with Blizzard on ambush. That is not a good thing.
Yeah, the ambush Blizzard is definitely a bit of a nuisance. It may or may not actually kill anybody, but it's going to waste a lot of time here.
Yeah, it's just going to be absolutely nuisance at this point. Was the White Mage already dead coming up here?
Yeah, Tristal's been 3-manning this for a long time now.
Okay.
That White Mage has been kissing dirt for most of the seed.
I can always use an extended nap. I won't complain about that.
Falconic picking up Ruse and Expert here in Crescent Lake. I smell some cheese strats on the horizon.
I have a Naocho on Tristal's side, yep. Here come the Warmech emotes again. Unfortunately, all we're getting is some stale air. Falconic is making his way up to his own Bridge of Destiny.
Yeah, a couple of R-Hydras, but it looks like we're not going to see the Warmech on Tristal's side. A couple more steps that we might see it, but not looking very friendly.
Yeah, sometimes you can have back-to-back encounters, so it can still happen. It can still appear. We're at level 24, by the way, for all 3 of his party members, and there's, just like I said, another encounter, but now the Warmech is less likely. And boom, 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 boom. Wow.
Alright, so no Warmech for Tristal. Falconic is making quick work of these bad men, nukes down a pack, and gets a couple thousand experience points for his trouble. Already on Sky 2 now. Banesword coming out, nuke for Tristal. 5 hits for 445 damage. Thunder comes out and blasts the White Mage.
Back to kissing dirt.
Yep, Fast goes off on the Knight. A couple more nukes coming out. 306 damage, and Tiamat goes down.
And I think that's all 4 orbs for him, isn't it?
That is, in fact, all 4 orbs for Tristal, so about the 114, 115-ish minute mark, he'll be entering into Topher. He's going to do some quick shopping beforehand, though.
Yep, before going 2,000 years in the past, you gotta do some shopping. $222,000 gold, you can buy whatever you want with that.
Alright, so Falconic checks the last 4 of these greed chests, and he is off on his way to the Bridge of Destiny. Tristal at the 114.05, well, 114.10, since we landed on Temple of Fiends. Gonna make his way into the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
He literally did land on Temple of Fiends. I think he crashed the airship, so not gonna be going anywhere from there, as he heads 2,000 years in the past.
Yeah, he was trying a new strategy. Thought he could take out the Black Orb by landing an airship on it. Turns out it remains intact. You still need those orbs.
Well, we know where Stinger went. It was on Gassies.
Yeah, there's a couple of Stingers in the pool, so they're probably not the only enemies that have it, but
Nope.
not a big deal.
And now for our alternate eye called Phantom. And that was the alternate eye or Phantom.
Falconic has made his way to the Bridge of Destiny now.
There was ribbon
really
number
quick work
3.
for these Fiend dungeons now.
Ribbon number 3 was in
validation
the...
chest.
Yeah.
Nice.
$88 in the other one.
Oh, Falconic does find a war mech, and he's going to take it.
Battle
Very high
mode
level black
engaged. Battle mode engaged. Beginning sequence. So then a nuke and then Falcon Punch! Nope, 317 damage, it's still standing.
So Warmech with a bit of absorb on him. Gonna keep throwing out the Fog 2s to build up that absorb. More punches come out. So far just a fire 3 from this Warmech.
Ice 3 doesn't do much. Ice 3 from... There we go.
Alright, so Warmech rolling down on HP even though it had high absorb. Picks up a couple extra levels for his Light Warriors.
I didn't know if that was runnable or not, but you did take the fight at least. That did give us minimal information on what the other fiends might have.
I think it was runnable, but Falconic wanted to go ahead and take it for the extra levels. Alright, Tristal on to Lich 2 now.
Lit 2.
2 is always something you like seeing. Big hits from the Mazmoon, 641 damage, and down goes Lich 2.
That's about the HP he had back in Marsh Cave. In the Earth Cave.
Alright, left side of your scene, Tristal making his way through Carrie's floor, gets ambushed by a couple of these unrunnable Agamas and Fire Giants. Takes the fight, he's now level 25 across the board except for his White Mage.
Falconic fighting the Nacho Platters.
Yeah, Falconic's looking for a couple of extra levels to pad out the HP on these mages. Would really love for the White Mage to be able to survive nuke rolls. Really dodgy errors. Completely misses with the Black Belt.
And it's time for a dragon.
Falconic pulls Tiamat, as Tristal is pulling Carry 2. You're out of nukes and bracks on Falconic's side. Tristal queuing up the Bane Sword. Starting to throw out some nukes. Gonna throw out just nukes, no fasts. Needs to conserve those 3 fast charges for the last 3 fiends. Bane Sword ineffective. Nuke comes out. 191 damage. Falconic punches down Tiamat 1. Another 100 damage from that nuke on Tristal's side. Falconic now has 3 orbs at 118, 25.
He's off the Sea Shrine. Which again is at Elfland today, I believe.
It was at Crescent Lake, I thought.
Nope, Elfland.
Oh, that was Melmond. You're right. Alright, and Tristal gets through carry 2. So Falconic's going to be able to blaze through the Sea Shrine very quickly with his high-level black belt. Tristal making good work of this Topher, but we haven't seen anything nasty yet.
He's now on the area where things can start to get nasty, so we're going to get to see what the Kraken 2 wants to throw at us. So he has to run from a bunch of seafood first. Now he's square away. White Mage is in front. Black Mage is second. So party arrangement to make sure his fighter is at the back. Fighting people are at the back. And release the Kraken!
Alright, so we're throwing out the fast. We're going to start swinging straight away. We're going to throw out the nukes. Trying to do as much damage as possible. Kraken just stop on round 1. That doesn't do anything.
Yeah, that didn't do anything to this this highly level party. And 428, that was a
Kraken
really
has
weak Kraken.
no hit points.
That was nothing today. Party rearrangement again.
Max plus by crossing guard Kraken. Yeah, it might as well have been. Just lets Tristal straight through. Yeah, Kai is pointing out in chat that was less than 600 HP. It was something like 550.
Even the first Kraken in vanilla has 800 HP. That was just weak.
Alright, Tristal queuing up for Tiamat 2. Leaving that red wizard in the back slot. Wants to be able to avoid taking hits on it, so that way he can have the life 2 to back up on. 7 hits for 23 damage. Tiamat has a lot of absorb. Comes out for almost 200 damage against the Black Mage. Nuke comes out for 143.
We're already having calls in chat for a Chaos with Nuke, Nuclear, and Cure 4.
Tristal thinking about his options here. 7 hits for 34 damage. No damage coming out of that Mazmune. No criticals here.
Black Mage takes a nap. Bane Sword does nothing, which it does have, I think, about 3 and 256 chance, if I'm remembering the numbers right. Nuke for 175. Tiamat takes that 52. Hits for 137. Bane Sword again is not effective.
I'm surprised that Tristal isn't using any power bonk charges here. This seems very strange to me. Falconic is on Kraken's floor. He is making up time.
White Mage is down. Red Mage is close to being down, so Fi is almost by himself.
Yeah, that fighter finally getting some critical hits in there. And despite having a ton of absorb, Tia does not have very many HP, so he gets through. Yes, Knight and Red Wizard both have Life 2. Life 2 at level 2.
The fact that there is such pushovers makes me think that we're going to see something off of Chaos today. Only thing that can really have anything at this point.
At this point, Falconic needs a nasty Chaos in order to be back in this race. This Topher has just been absolute paper and just letting Tristal through.
Final challenge? What challenge?
Alright, Falconic now going to pull Kraken. Use up the attacks. Throws out a Fog 2. Throws out a Brack. And broken to pieces.
Yeah, the green Kraken falls apart easily.
Alright, so Falconic not even taking a moment to stop. He's going straight in. 123.05. He is at Topher, ready to go into Temple of Fiends Revisited.
If we have a nasty chaos for Tristal, this will give Falconic the chance he needs.
Yeah, if Tristal one-shots this chaos, I think he will win. If Falconic search diving this Topher and Tristal wipes, I think this is Falconic's game to win. So it really depends on what this chaos has. Alright, we're throwing out...
It comes down to this fight.
The Bane Sword strats.
There's nuke.
No nukes left.
Canceling a light 2, looks at the Vorpal, goes back to the menu. I didn't catch what he picked there. Heal 2, it looks like, by the fight it picked.
Heal 2. Power Bonk comes out, Fast coming out.
Ice is coming out from Chaos, Ice 2. Bane Sword does not work, Fast. And there's the Heal 2 to counter the Ice 2 immediately.
Falconic's going to find his third ribbon.
Rub is ineffective on the White Mage. Or White Wizard.
More Power Bonks coming out. Some nukes coming out of the Black Wizard. He has a really good nuke roll. Bane Sword ineffective again. So far we haven't seen anything dangerous. Just a couple of Ice 2s. The 3 coming out for 54. Nuke coming out for 222. Fighter swings in. 6 hits for 398 damage. So definitely some decent absorb, but not a high amount.
We could see a nuclear now. That would be devastating. Maybe. There it is!
505, you called it. Nuclear comes out. Big damage on the mages, but not enough to take down anybody but the White Wizard.
Now we'll see if a nuclear Cure 4 makes an appearance from Chaos. Nope, just a lit 2. He does have a huge spell pool, so it's probably still in there somewhere.
Ice 3 coming out, 40 damage. Ink comes out. So Chaos had a nuclear, but nothing scary other than that so far. 7 hits for 700.
Wow, 701.
2 hits for 88. Throwing heal potions on the Black Wizard now, nothing else to do.
Terminated.
9 hits for 936. GG. Tristal finishes with an official SRL time. 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 33 seconds.
Get your GGs in chat if you haven't already. And looks like we might not have audio for Falconic because I don't hear audio for him. We'll check that.
Yeah, Falconic is using his own music while playing.
Ah, okay.
So he is not going to have audio.
Okay, so then that means we'll just hear regular music in the chat then. Good. So we'll see if Tristan wants to chat with us about this.
Falconic blazes his way through Lich 2. Just one punches him. So Falconic put the eggs in the black belt basket. Unfortunately, this Topher didn't want to play ball. It was just easy street. And the seed gave us all the tools to get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah, Topher was just too easy for Tristal today, and that basically led to the race going into his favor just as a result from that alone. Falconic did rely on the black belt strategy and to one punch, which is going to work for him, obviously, but unfortunately, Tristal had too easy of a time with Topher to make it work today.
So Carry came out with big damage against the black belt, but another punch and another nuke get the job done. Falconic is through Carry too.
And Tristal is going to be joining us in a moment. I'm finding from the channel here.
Alright, Falconic making his way through the water floor now.
And with that, we are joined by Tristal in the broadcast booth. GG.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So that was probably the most paper-thin Temple of Fiends Revisited we've seen in a while, hasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I kept expecting something to crush me in TOFR, as is tradition during this tournament, but other than a slightly beefy Chaos, yeah, that went pretty well.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Absorb on that Tiamat too, and a lot of HP on that Chaos, but nothing dangerous. I mean, you saw the Nuclear on Chaos, but that was about it.
Yeah, I kept waiting for Nuke to come end my run, and it just never came. Yeah, that Tiamat was a bit well armored up as well, but and once it killed my Black Mage, I was a little worried because my Red Mage didn't really have a whole lot of nuke charges left, but I guess we made it through anyway.
Well, Falconic just finding right now how paper thin Kraken was. He's one fiend away from Chaos at this point, so he wasn't too far behind you. He relied on man mode strats with the Black Belt today. He killed everyone and did an Agma grind on the Black Belt while you were getting your set. I think you just got into go mode as he finished the grind. So he had a little bit catching up to get to go mode and was making up some ground. He didn't get the tail. He didn't go down to the bottom for a marsh. He just found the cube and was out of there immediately. Other than that, he just was obviously behind you a little bit because you went to go mode while he was still finishing his grind. So he was catching up fast. Temple Fiend visited. If something didn't work there, this could have been Falconic's race easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Black Belt is in my heart's desire, so I can definitely appreciate it. And once you get all leveled up, you start churning through the rest of the game real fast. So yeah, if I had died at any point in TOFR, I think Falconic would have taken this for sure.
Wow, that is a 35 Black Belt hitting for 6 hits, 7 damage.
I just saw that too. I had to blink and see that again.
Alright, so definitely some more Power Bonk charges on the table in order. And Falconic making sure he's going to get the job done this time. Fog 2s to keep up the defense. And Thor Hammer coming out for 23 damage and another punch.
Well, that was more of a
Falcon
punch.
7 hits for 791 damage. That's the job we want.
791 is definitely greater than 7. So we are going to see a intermission fight as we leave the floor here. A couple of zombie dragons and a enhanced speed bump.
So, Tristal, a bit of a question while we're waiting on Falconic to pull the Chaos fight. You made it through the Swiss rounds. You're 4-1 now. How relieved are you not to have to play in the play-in race?
I don't know. Like, the play-in race sounds like a whole lot of fun. So, honestly, it wouldn't have distressed me too much to lose this match. You know, I've got some experience with the play-in races, so it would have been pretty interesting. But at least I get to watch it this time, so that'll be nice. Just being able to sit on the sidelines and appreciate all the awesomeness.
My understanding is we're going to have, I think, multiple broadcasts going to cover as many of the runners as we can here. So that's going to be quite an interesting thing to pull off across multiple channels here that day.
Alright, so Falconic topping off his HP, and he pulls Chaos. He does not have any level 7 charges, so he does not have Nuke on the table. Or not have Fast on the table, rather. He throws out 1 Nuke, and he's going to throw out a slow 2.
Nuke does 174.
174. Bane Sword ineffective. Fog 2 coming out. Going to top off that Absorb as much as possible. And he gets the
early
first
nuclear. We knew it was in his inventory. In fact, to be completely honest, Tristal, I accidentally called for it just before we saw you get it.
That's all right. It didn't really end up doing my party that much harm, so it worked out.
It's 2 Power Bonk charges. The Quake comes out. It's ineffective. Only a 3 in 256 chance to work. And we're out of Fog 2 charges now. So we're going to throw out an Exfer. And we're going to test Chaos's Absorb.
218 slays another Black Mage.
Yeah, the Black Wizard just gets a little bit disrespected. 6 hits for 709 damage from the Black Belt now.
Actually, they're still mages. They're not promoted. There's another nuclear. He got 2 nuclears.
Alright, so there was a double nuclear in the table.
The White Mage gives all of his healing power to the Black Belt, who needed it because he just took a very, very beefy hit from Chaos. 27 damage with the Thor Hammer. 857 does not kill. Crack does nothing. That was a wasted turn by Chaos. Ice 2 does a little more. Tie hits for 669. The Thor Hammer hits for 27. Still standing. And looks like we're using the potions now. Might be out of cure charges.
You gotta do everything you can.
868 terminates Chaos on Falconic's side. The Falcon Punch takes it down.
So an official SRL time of 1:33.15 for Falconic is good enough for second place. And we are joined now by Falconic. Falconic, GG.
Thanks. Did I hear I got second? That's awesome.
You did.
No, you got third. You got third. There was a mystery runner.
Yeah, thanks for the GGs. I appreciate it. That was fun.
So Falconic, we had talked a little bit about your plan before the race. You kind of clued me in. I was sworn to secrecy. You had the black belt strategy on the mind, and it worked out fairly well for you until we saw that Topher was just paper thin.
Yeah, and that's the gamble. Going against Tristal, I've said this a million times before, you're never going to beat somebody like Tristal in routing. You're never going to beat somebody like Tristal in a straight-up match. So you need something to go wrong, like with the Will match this year, where Topher and the Green Medusas just put an end to his run. So practice the strategy. I figured it's something that, again, we haven't seen from anybody party-wise in the tournament so far. And it's super safe. I hate it. It's super duper safe, but Topher today just decided not to be hard. So unfortunately, the gamble didn't work, but I think it was the right gamble. I talked to you earlier. I did some really fast practice seeds with this, so I love the ability of this party, but you need the seed to kind of do you some favors.
Yeah, I think the thing that really killed you off is that Mazza was really easily accessible, and Crystal routed straight to it. He went and did ordeals first, turned in the crystal, found the Mystic Key, and what do you do after you find the Mystic Key? You go check the key lock chests, and it's sitting right there, that Mazmoon. So, Tristal, you had excellent routing this whole way through. Played the game very well. Falconic was hot on your heels, but Black Belt takes a little bit of time to charge up, so you were able to get through just a little bit faster.
Yeah, frankly, I was definitely really lucky. Like Falconic said, if something were to have gone wrong, there was less than an 8-minute difference there. So, any wipe in TOFR and Falconic catches up. Anything super weird like, not finding Mazmoon, not finding really any good weapons, something like that. With the spell selection we had, that was a little scary. Finding fast in Onrek was a huge game changer too, because without it, Tiamat would have been a real problem, and even Chaos would have taken forever to kill, and who knows what was in Chaos' spell list later on. So yeah, Falconic definitely impressed me today with the Black Belt strat, being that close with it. I wasn't sure how good Black Belt strats would really be in this format, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing some forced Black Belt strats and or banned fighter strats in the coming races.
Yeah, banned fighter is something I don't think we got to see in the Swiss. I think every week the fighter was allowed, so it'll be interesting if we get to go into the first round of the brackets or even the play-in race and we're told, hey everyone, you're trying to qualify for brackets without a fighter. Good luck! It'll be interesting if something like that happens or it ends up being rolled like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need fighters. You don't need fighters at all. I think this entire time in the 5 weeks, I think I've had a party with one fighter the entire time, and that's when I did Fighter Thief with Tarnin, which is still my favorite party I've ever played.
So Falconic, you've been running some kind of off the wall parties this whole way through. You did a more normal-ish party this time around. Definitely atypical, but something you could reasonably see in a normal party. What you got cooked up for the play-in race? You gonna do something spicy, or are you gonna try and be more safe with your party?
No, I'm going spicy all the way. And if I win, I win, and that's cool. But I don't know. I get bored of Swiss after 5 weeks because it's not a boring tournament. Don't get me wrong, but every week knowing that you've got 6 days to count down to your next race, and it just eats away at you, and it's on your brain. You can't stop thinking about it. And should you practice or shouldn't you practice? all that tension and stress that builds up over the week, and then just to reset and do it again the next week and then the next week. Last year I got really, really burned out and got a little salty and was kind of a cranky old man about it. So this year I figured just make it fun. And if I go 0-5, at least I went 0-5 having fun. And luckily, a lot of the opponents that I had kind of were in the same boat, and they said, yeah, let's do some weird parties. And I think we've got some really good races out of it. I know Tarnin in my match, I think was probably the most fun match I've ever played. And it happens to be an SRL race, which I usually hate doing. So yeah, I'm going to keep it spicy. And if I lose, I lose. Oh well. And if I win, cool.
All right. Well, if you guys have not gotten enough Final Fantasy Randomizer action, remember there are still 3 more races coming up tomorrow, the last day of the tournament. And we've got tomorrow at noon. It is One Fine Day versus myself, Shadow Walker 227. It's going to be at noon.
That should be a good one.
Then Doogie MacGyver and Gura are facing off at 5:30 p.m. And Falconic, by reading this right, Sony Wrath 11 versus Dengwu is actually Monday?
Yes, they had to reschedule because neither could make it before the cutoff of the week. So we're going to do a Monday match, and that'll be the last one.
All right. Then I apologize. 2 races tomorrow and 1 on Monday at 9 p.m. That's Sony Wrath 11 versus Dengwu.
And we are getting, I just wanted to confirm the days for the play-in races. We don't know the times for the races yet, but we do know that the play-in races, for those who need more Final Fantasy Randomizer after this Sunday and Monday coming up, these next 2 days, anyone who wants to see more Final Fantasy Randomizer will be able to come for the play-in races. Saturday and Sunday, we don't know what time yet, but it's going to be a broadcast extravaganza, multiple channels, multiple runners. You're going to get all the Final Fantasy Randomizer you can handle next weekend, so make sure you come back for that. At least here on the Speed Gaming Network. I'm not sure if we're going to have any over on Randomania as well, but there will definitely be some here on the Speed Gaming Network for sure.
Yeah, and I want to say the reason we don't know the times yet for them is because we don't even know all the racers for them yet. And we just want to make sure, the maximum number of racers are able to race in each of the races, schedule-wise. So there's surveys for people to fill out, those of you who are qualified for each of those races. And I will be begging you all to please fill them out. Otherwise, I can't be held responsible if I schedule the race at a time where you are not available, if you don't voice when you are available.
With that said, Bob, you were going to say something?
I was going to ask our runners if they have any final thoughts, either for the flag or for tonight's race or for the tournament so far. Let's start with Tristal.
Today was actually pretty nerve-wracking. I was really nervous the entire time, believe it or not. Kind of just waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for something to kill me. And it just happened never to pass. So GG to Falconic. You definitely made me sweat it. Good luck in the play-in race this Sunday, or next Sunday, I should say.
Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing how many are going to be in it, and therefore how many actually get to move on. But final thoughts was playing Tristal is always an honor. Tristal, I don't know if you know this, but you were actually in the very first race that I ever played, and I think I came behind you by like 35 minutes in that race. So to fast forward a year and to see that I'm able to take everything that I've learned from all the people in the community and put it to use and try different comps and come closer just tells me that next year I think I really, really want to see you again in the Swiss to see how we fare at that point. But tournament's been fun. Looking forward to the play-in race. Congrats on your 4-1. Enjoy your week off. We're actually about to close out the Swiss 5th round, and then, like they said, next weekend is going to be the last chance qualifier in the play-in race. And just to throw in a quick plug here, during the downtime next Friday, so the day before the last chance qualifier, we're doing the exhibition for the co-op tournament. So we're going to reveal the flags at that time. And we've got Hyra Fellows and Rafe Hates Caleb together for Rofe Hates Caleb. That's their team. They're going up against Moist Mogwai and Meridian BC, which as of now, they're named Team Flavortown, I believe it is. So join us for that. And then right after that, we're going to go straight into the rest of the spring tournament and have a good time.
So looking forward to seeing the co-op tournament. I personally love the whole co-op thing, having actually run a co-op tournament in a different game. So those are all a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting to see the strategy involved in that when it comes up. So I want to say again, make sure you follow these runners. They did put on a great race today. Between Falconic_FF is Falconic's Twitch, and TristalMTG, as you see on the screen for those looking on YouTube. Or twitch.tv, followed by either of those names. You can go by their channel and thank them for the great races. And I wish them luck in future races and also hang out with them. Good, nice thing we get to do here on Twitch. We'd love to see you down here for a race live in the channel sometime as well. Make sure you do follow our trackers, who are Super Luigi 52 and Lyra SRL, both in the tracking booth today. Click on the buttons. And also my co-commentator, Shadow Walker 227, who is racing tomorrow. Give him a follow as well and check out the race tomorrow at noon. Just want to cover very quickly a little bit on the schedule coming up this evening. We have the Pac-Man World 2 Grand Finals going on right now over on the main channel. That's between Nacho Bredo and Frog65 XI Win, I think is how that is read. So you can head over there and check out their grand final if you wish to. Some other events on the other channels right now. Some more Randomizer, Link to the Past Randomizer, Portal 2, Super Metroid Weekly Race going on. And at 11:59 tonight on this channel, we're going to see more Link to the Past Rando League between Team 4K, Fourth and Forehead, and the Titans Midst. That is Activoca versus SAGTG, I believe. And I haven't checked the situation. That's either a Game 4 or a Game 5 situation in the league. I'm trying to get a quick look at the league schedule to confirm this, as I should know this. And it looks like that is, if it loads. Well, either way, it is a playoff match. And after this week, the league does go into the finals. The finals for the league is next week, so that's also something else you can check out here on Speed Gaming as well. And that will wrap up today's schedule, so feel free to check out all those events. If you're watching on YouTube, following this in the playlist will be another matchup from this tournament. All the other races will be on different playlists on our YouTube channel. You can go look for those. And I did mention you earlier, Shadow Walker, any last thoughts for you before we do wrap up?
Just wanted to say it's always a pleasure working with you, Cyclone GL. And big thanks for everybody coming in and watching the race, everybody here in Twitch chat, everybody that watched the VODs later here in YouTube. So big thanks for everybody coming and hanging out, and we couldn't do it without you guys. So Speed Gaming, thank you for giving us a platform, and everybody else, thank you for giving us an audience. We love you all.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Chat is just as important as anyone else. If we didn't have chat, we would have nothing to do except talk to ourselves, which is fun, but obviously is not as much of a show in that case. So we're happy to be able to put this on, and happy to be able to have this great entertainment here, even just for us to watch. Just great to watch. So with that said, I want to wish everyone a wonderful evening. Make sure you stay around for the Link to the Past if you're interested in that in about an hour, or check out our other channels for those watching live. We'll host one of those channels momentarily as well on this channel while we wait for the Link to the Past randomizer to start. So I want to wish everyone a wonderful evening. I'm Cyclone or Cyclone GU, and we'll see you next time here in the Final Fantasy world for more Randomizer. Good night. See you tomorrow at noon.